And now there's a lot of cat and mouse talk for the 3-year-old Emerald, isn't there, with IRT. BD Joe drawn barrier 1. Stablemate Alta Wise Guy, they've said in the media during the week that they'll press the issue with him early if they possibly can. He's $41 into 15s. We might get to Matt Peden very shortly and see what he's got to say about this race. Your initial thoughts when the markets came out, in your mind, instinct, what did it say to you? Did you want to back Krug or BD Joe?
I want to be on Krug. I think he's the best horse, and it's really interesting that the media hype that's what's evolved in the last 48 hours with Steve coming out and saying we'd like to lead without a Wise Guy and take a trail with BD Joe. This is how the map unfolds. BD Joe's way quicker off the gate. He'll lead. It's whether he lets Alta Wise Guy go. Alta Wise Guy led at the workouts on Saturday, but would you want to relinquish your advantage of getting a barrier draw here, Matt? That's my question. Would you want to relinquish your inside barrier draw to a $41 shot who's now moved in the market and hope that you can get back round again from the trail and find the front, or
Shan Noble comes across and drills him,
or your stablemate doesn't get you to the lane? So it is an enormous risk if you're using a good draw. Put it in my mind. If Krug wasn't in this race and it was Shan Noble sitting on the back of BD Joe, we wouldn't be having this conversation. As simple as that. I mean, it's because Krug is behind BD Joe that they're looking at to do this. Now, I've been in a lot of meetings and a lot of Group 1s where trainers have tried a lead trail scenario. You know, on one hand, I could count how many times it works. So you're taking a massive risk. Now, I hope it works for them. That's their plan. It may well do. I have great doubts it does.
Okay, Matt, with all of this chitter-chatter about the 3-year-old Emerald, what have you got to say in terms of the move around Alta Wise Guy? Is that from you guys with his workout on Saturday, or is there a weight of money coming for him?
Matt, there was a reaction after the workout on Saturday, 41 now into a quote of $15. We've taken a bet of 300 at 16, another 300 at 15 and 200 at 15. And that's on top of the 500 at 100 to 1 that we took and the 500 at 50 to 1 we took before the fields came out in the futures market. So he's our biggest liability probably of the day. Outside of him, they're back BD Joe, 2000 at 440 and heavily tried in that top 3 market as well. But outside of the Telfer pair, they don't really want to be on anything else.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Matt. We'll chat to you a little later on about some of the other moves on the program. Well, Krug went to a trial where they went 155. That was after his emphatic Derby win, and then he's gone to the park on last Friday night with a couple of strong trials in between. BD Joe sat on his back this night, couldn't get past him. He actually edged clear from him. Shan Noble big in the Derby though, wasn't he? Well,
he was the only horse that sat in the running line that was still at the finish because it was lead trail 3 deep and 4 deep that ran the top 4 spots here, and he ran a courageous 50. He went on to perform well after that. But on Krug, Matt, he has just lifted again. I mean, he's had a long campaign, but he's gone from the Derby at Addington to the Derby to Auckland to Addington. Then he's gone 2 super trials, come to Alexandra Park last Friday night in a graded race, and runs home one of the fastest 800 metres I've seen in an awful long time. He ran 54 seconds at the park on Friday night.
I think he's the best he's been, looking at him.
He is not on a downward spiral. He just needs luck from the draw. And what will BD Joe do? Now, as I said, it's up in the air. Alta Wise Guy, they may be very keen to do that lead Tranel scenario. But they could get on the track at the start of this race, and Alta Wise Guy could warm up lethargically because he's got a 153 trial 5 days earlier, and they decide, well, maybe I don't want to come out of the gate with him, so BD Joe is your leader. There's a lot to unfold, and there's a lot of ducks and drakes that go on in harness racing, so you just watch this space.
Just quickly, do you think that if BD Joe does stay in front, Mark Purdon comes looking on Shan Noble, the lead would be there?
No.
Okay. So, therefore, Krug is in a great spot.
He's in a great spot, but
because he's the only horse off the front that you could possibly hand to if you're BD Joe.
I'm a great believer in you drive your own race. Don't worry about what the opposition do. I mean, if you're worried about the opposition and you're drawn barrier 1, you shouldn't have barrier 1.
Well, one man who won't be worried about the opposition is Crandell Getty, and Mark Cookson put it to him a short time ago that there will be a couple of scenarios for him on Sunday.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that one. Blair and I have actually been, Blair Owen's been very relaxed about it. We casually talked about it several days ago, and we just put it down to 3 scenarios. He might get a really good trip and come out and win, or he might get an unlucky trip and run midfield, or he could run last. But the only guarantee, the sun will get up the next day, and he is a racehorse, and like every participant, we love to win every start, but we know in logistics that doesn't happen. But we're as excited to be in it. You've got to be humble that we're down to the last 12 of all the 3-year-olds in New Zealand, and just to be in it, and if he does win, what's a bonus?
What did you make of the run last week in the final hit-out race at the park?
Well, funny enough, and not that the general public know, but it's the fastest 600 metres he's ever got home in a race, and he was enormous. It's hard to say that when you run second, but if we can just hold him at that tempo from now till this coming Sunday, he'll be enormous.
Well, Beatty Joe is the horse that Krug follows out, and he was only narrowly beaten in the Sire Stakes finally. Was probably a little bit unlucky that he didn't actually win the race, but he showed awesome gate speed in this, Craig.
He did, and this is at the top of the lane. The gate speed at the start of the race was crucial because he got across from barrier 4. This is a Group 1 back in November, but it highlights that when he finds the front, and this is 1980, a mile's really his go. Inside draw, used the gate speed, got decisions to make after that, but no doubt he maps as your leader. And it's all about faith. I mean, he went off the boil, but that's Krug running into 4th there, so he beat him home there in the Sire Stakes, albeit Krug not being at his best. But he's a very good horse around Cambridge. I think he's unbeaten there, Matt. He's 2 starts, 2 wins there. It's his track.
Is American Dealer the forgotten horse?
Absolutely forgotten horse. A lot of people look at those workouts on Saturday and say, gee, what an awful performance, American Dealer.
He was jogging.
He went great. Now, there is a reason why he didn't pace so good. He didn't carry the one-legged spreader. Now, normally he goes around left-handed. He does that. They took it off for the workouts on Saturday. They put it back on again this week. He still ran home very good, and he maps to get a lovely run through behind Pace and Pride. Don't drop American Dealer. You're sitting back now, write down runner number 10, put it in your first 4.
Regazo Mac?
Horror draw. Don't know how he gets into the race. Yeah, just going to need a lot of luck.